I wanted to have more, right? I think you can call me greedy, not for money, but for social impact. And so that really was what kept me going in my darkest moments. Some of the feedback was not easy to hear, but you want to hear the honest feedback. You don't want your best friend to tell you, Bjorn, you are a great person. There's nothing you should change about you as well. Continue doing what you are as well. You are dying in the next 5 minutes, I know, but you're still great. That's not a good friend, right? You want your friend to tell you that, Bjorn, you suck, right? I don't understand why you're so stubborn, and I think you could do this to actually change things as well. You need the real frank talk as well. When you are about to die, you make very, very bold moves, right? So I reached the dying cockroach phase. I was flipped over, all 6 legs up in the air, one wing clipped, maybe, right? And then thinking, okay, do I still want to do this at all? The thing that has brought me this far is that I believe in the social impact of my business. I believe that I was helping people, and I want to devote my life to doing that as well. I wanted to solve something that I personally felt was neglected, and there's something close to my area of interest, in this case, mental health as well. I believe that a lot of people can benefit from it.
All right, welcome to Your Great Story. I'm your host, Eric, and I'm a product guy in tech. In this podcast, I chat with founders and changemakers to discover their passion that they carry with them to bring their products to market. In this episode, our guest is Bjorn Lee, founder and CEO of MindFi, a mental wellness startup. Extremely exciting times for them as they just raised the first $1 million of funding from prominent investors. And they are the latest batch of Y Combinator Accelerator program. I have known Bjorn for 10 years, and we caught up recently to find out his journey of starting his first company in Silicon Valley back in 2011 to where he is now today, bringing mental wellness to you and I. Without further ado, this is my chat with Bjorn, sharing his great story where you discover yours. Welcome to Your Great Story, right? This is another episode, which is very fun episode. So today we have Bjorn Lee, founder of MindFi. Hi Bjorn, welcome to the show.
Hi, Eric. We've known each other for a while. This is my first podcast with you. Hopefully, I see a lot more podcasts coming from you as well, and this won't be the first and last as well.
Awesome. Wow. Okay, so we can probably book the next one already. But so fun fact, right? So I know Bjorn for about 10 years. I just checked, and we were friends on Facebook since 2011. Right, so from 2011 to 2021 today, it's been 10 years, and I've seen a lot of awesome stuff Bjorn has been working on. So Bjorn, probably can you bring me and the audience together back to 2011 or even before 2011, right? Tell us how you kind of started from then to where you are today.
Sure. So in the 10 years since we last met, I think nobody really uses Facebook that actively anymore. All right. I think, so many things have changed as well. When I first met you, I think you were in the NUS Overseas College or NOC program, right? And I was running my education startup in Silicon Valley. Back then, this company was called Stickery. We were funded by Google Ventures to build preschool education tools, on the mobile phone, and that was very cool because 10 years ago, I think there were not that many preschool education apps as well. I ran that company with my fellow NOC buddy as well from my same batch, Gerald Ong. Ran that for about 3 years. Eventually, we had a small exit for the company. Followed by which we joined another company to work as an employee because, being a founder, sometimes you run out of ideas or you get tired as well. So I think he moved over to Vicky, and I actually moved over to Zopim, a small startup as well, because I enjoy building products, and I was tasked to actually look into building new innovative products at Zopim. 6 months later, we got acquired at Zendesk. So pretty soon, 3 years passed as well. It was a very exciting period joining a 30 pax company a 50 packs company actually, and that was acquired by 600 packs startup. The day we joined, 3 months later, I was tasked in charge of building the running the product integration. I was leading up product integration from Zopim to Zendesk. We eventually became Zendesk Chat. I worked with 6 teams all around the world. Hours were crazy. It was fun. Learned a lot. It was stressful as well. And I left Zendesk in 2016, followed by which I did a sabbatical. And I was learning programming initially and traveling, and then eventually after 6 months of my 1 year sabbatical, I got bored. I decided to look at various startup ideas to do. I looked at mental health wasn't my obvious first choice. I think it was one of multiple choices. I'm not sure I mentioned to you before, but I was looking at aquaponics farming as well, a combination of hydroponics and aquariums, so that you can actually, like farm both plants and fish at the same time. I also looked into um, an idea related to Lego, right? I think I was trying to, well, I love Lego. I think kids should love Lego and have the chance to actually experience many sets as possible. Parents have a problem, right? Where it's really expensive as well. So I was trying to do a Lego toy rental business, right? I also tried to make a breakfast machine. That was a hardware idea, and it was really hard, right? No pun intended, right? The whole idea was to actually make omelets, right? You can press a bunch of buttons, and then you could get a sunny side up. You could get a Singapore style soft boiled egg. You could make hard boiled eggs. You could make an omelet. You could throw some cheese chunks and tomato pieces into it as well. You could press and wake up. It would be right beside a coffee machine. That was another crazy idea we had. Good thing I didn't pursue any of them. But mental health came to me because I look back, and the year I met you was the year that I actually experienced a lot of chest pains as well. And so it's funny how things came to a circle, and now we are talking, and I'm actually building a mental health startup and reconnect after 10 years. Um, but that's essentially what I did. I started MindFi in 2017. I've been running it for 4 years now. We pivoted last year, and built a new team, and we've been growing really, really fast. And we'll talk more about that later on.
Nice, nice, nice. Thanks for that. So I remember meeting you in San Francisco, if I'm not wrong, in 2011. And I remember a lot of energy. You're doing a stickery and all that.
We still have a lot of energy. Yeah.
Yes, of course, of course.
We're channeling it to better purposes right now rather than just drinking and clubbing, I think.
Okay. Now the story is out. Okay.
You can delete this.
Okay. No, this could be out there. Okay. So for since then, right to now, is there like a turning point? I mean, maybe you can tell me more about were there like some health issues you had back then or what?
Yeah, I mean, in 2011, I was 30 years old, right? And I honestly had a few health scares back then as well. I mean, like, I did not exercise. So my hamstrings were very, very tight. And whenever I actually tried exercising, I couldn't walk for a couple of days. In fact, I was actually, I spent an entire day waiting at the A&E department of a San Francisco hospital one time because of that problem, right? I was sitting down so much, this is 2011, and standing desks were quite a fad at that point of time, right? Nobody really understood the dangers of sitting down for so long, and Silicon Valley was probably the first to actually popularize standing desks. I remember my friend was working at Facebook, and like Zuckerberg, like their people team give everybody standing desks if they have a chance as well. My problem is standing, not standing enough and sitting in too much. Gave me a spinal disease. I actually have two vertebrae in my spinal column that actually has no spinal fluid because they leaked out due to poor posture, due to sitting down for years, right? So I did an MRI scan, and they told me that my spine looks 15 years older than what I actually was. I was 30 then, it looked like a 45-year-old one, right? So the third was the chest pains as well, right? And I honestly tried to see a doctor for every single condition that I had, right? My hamstring problems, my leg pain, I thought I was having gout. My spinal problem, my chest pains as well. I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was really dying. I had a spine problem, I have a heart problem, I have a leg problem. Am I going to die soon or what, right? And everything boiled down to me having a very imbalanced lifestyle. And so it gave me a wake-up call, honestly. In 2011, I had a wake-up call, and it set me on a different path because I literally have three pain points to solve in my life, not just business pain points when I was running that startup, right? So I think that gave me a deeper look, but I did not act on it immediately. I think I acted on it more in 2016. It took me 5 years for me to say that maybe I should take a step back, reassess my life, and rethink my priorities, what I should be spending my time on, and how I should live a better life going forward.
Right. So speaking about priorities, what is your top priority right now?
My top priority right now is that we just raised quite a fair amount of funding. We just closed our undisclosed seed round funding, and my team has grown from 10 to 20 plus within a span of 3 to 4 months. And so I need to stabilize the team and make sure that we hit a new growth trajectory in a couple of years' time for the next stage of funding.
Nice, nice. Congrats anyway.
Thank you.
So let's talk about mental health as an industry, as a topic, right? So there's a rise of, in recent years, of that mental health is important, well-being is important. So tell me more about that. Tell the audience about, why is there such a trend growth in mental health?
I think people are interested about mental health right now because, of the pandemic. Number one, everybody has experienced what it's like with social isolation, working from home, perhaps having a family, having no family, having issues with your housemates, or having an issue with no housemates as well, right? We now understand all these different issues fall under the bracket of mental health. I think that is a very important part. We have all been very stressed. There's no boundaries between work and life. Uh, Working hours are extended. Um, Mental well-being is not just simply about being feeling happy. It's not, right? It's the ability to also manage it's the ability to manage our emotions, stay calm and relax, but it's also about staying in touch with friends, keeping a healthy body, right? Being interested in the day-to-day things that we do as well. It's actually much more multi-dimensional than most people think, right? Because I think before the pandemic, most people think, and maybe like me, as well, because I learned about mental health 10 years ago, it was about staying out of the asylum, right? The most stigmatized thing that we know, before mental health became a thing was that, oh, I don't want to be labeled as a crazy, cuckoo kind of person, right? But when we unpack the word mental and health, we realize that health is not just about staying outside of the asylum, a mental health hospital. It's really about managing our stress levels, staying interested, keeping ourselves aligned with a sense of mission and purpose in life, having a healthy social life as well. And part of that is also about our physical bodies. So it's a lot more nuanced and multidimensional. So I think that's really important because post-pandemic, as we exit this pandemic as well, I hope that we all understand what health really means, right? And that we learn the lessons that the pandemic has given us, appreciate and acknowledge it, and actually take some action as well on the other parts of our life that we did not know we need to pay attention to, right? So I think this is a very fascinating new industry, just because that it's not been given a name before. When you name something, you give it power, you give it a chance to grow as well. And so hopefully in years to come, more new products, more new government initiatives, civil sector initiatives, startups, non-profits, initiatives can take root from this.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm sure, it's going to be a growing trend, in especially in this whole kind of pandemic, situation, right? And, just let's talk about MindFi, from day one till now, right? Did it start off as for consumers, or is it for business? And how did it kind of transit? How do you find a product market fit for MindFi?
So I started with the consumer path as well because businesses were not ready to pay for mental health in this part of the world. Mind you, this was 2017, right? 2017. So I started in the consumer space. I started by building a meditation app because I found that I knew that best. and I started working with a team of psychologists, specifically Professor Stephen Hickman at the University of California, San Diego. Right? I worked with him to create a curriculum. He gave me a lot of advice. I was very inspired by Headspace and Calm, both of which were doing decently well at the point of time in 2017. They are not the unicorn companies that you know of today. And I differentiated by focusing on meditation you can do with your eyes open, bringing mindful awareness to our daily lives, to the things that we do, like entering a meeting, sitting in front of your laptop at the start of a day and going at it with intention, not just reacting to things as they come in, but doing things with purpose, having a meal and really appreciating and eating it as well, knowing how to take breaks and be mindful of your temperament, your emotions as you go through a stressful day at work or come back home to your family or friends or housemates as well. So I think that's how I started, and over time, of course, it has evolved.
Cool. Let's talk about the team, right? Did you start this yourself, and how do you get the team growing, right? How do you get the core team kind of on board this rocket ship you're in?
To be fair, it's only been a rocket ship for the past 1 year, slightly less than a year now. So I'm still trying to process everything as well. When I first started 4 years ago, I think that I wanted to build a very different kind of startup. I did not just want to, crank out a product that's very me too, that the rest apply to Y Combinator, and then just grow like some of the other mental health startups back then. Um, I raised a small sum of seed money from some of my friends and professors as well. Professor Wong is an investor in my company, right? He supported me for my last startup. He supported me again for this startup as well. So I actually focus a lot on research. I did multiple design sprints, the Google style ones, with multiple teams and multiple groups as well, right? I went through about 4 to 5 different kind of prototypes over 3 months, and that was just for the app. I spent another 6 months refining, improving the content, looking for the right kind of people that I can work with as well. It's not easy. I cycled through quite a bunch as well, right? I launched a product hunt. We were number one product of the day as well. I think we beat Steve Wozniak and Foursquare's new version 4 or something like that back then, right? And then Apple reached out and they said, oh, we need to feature you. Can you send us all your assets? I was like, whoa, I don't think I'm ready yet. How about you get back to me? I think I need to revise it because I have a lot of feedback after launching a product hunt. Give me 2 months. So in 2018, we kind of like more officially launched it. We were featured on the App Store. They still continue featuring us as well in their mental health apps portfolio. And so that's what we did. Yeah. Not sure whether
Nice.
that
Wow.
answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also scaling up the content, and I really love the part of the research, which is really more scientific, right? It's not just a random meditation app. It's really built on solid research and solid foundations, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you asked
Yeah.
about team. So should I continue talking about the team?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I mean, I know that you have a strong team. I know some of the members. So please share with the audience. How did you grow this team of yours in MindFi?
Yeah. So it's a 4 year old company, and a lot of these members only joined me in the past 1 year, right? One of them I've known for 15 years, Leon, my COO, right? The other two I know of them from events that I spoke at, right? They are, in fact, my CTO came because he was working at A-Star, and his boss actually, introduced him to me. My psychologist co-founder Anita actually found me on LinkedIn because she was researching a list of mental health startups and she wanted to get into this space as well. So the question is, why did I have any co-founders before this? I tried. It was hard to find a co-founder for a mental health company that shared the same vision with me as well. So throughout, I tried working with different individuals, and there was never really a good fit as well. Which actually, I'm very grateful for the 1 year cliff that startups always do as well, because I put myself on a cliff too, right? You kind of have your get out clause when you actually put all your co-founders on a 1 year cliff in the founders agreement. So if you are a founder listening to this, or you are a founder, aspiring founder of a startup to be one day, first thing first is that you make sure that you can try multiple co-founders, but you don't want to have any long-term repercussions on your cap table. So invest everyone. Yeah.
Nice. That's a great tip. That's a great tip for founders out there. And you spoke about YC. Congrats on joining the YC batch. Maybe you can share with our founders who are listening as well. What are the tips on applying and getting into YC?
So I did not think that I'll get into Y Combinator. My CTO, Gangeshwar, was the one that keep encouraging me. He said, deadline is here. I think you should apply, right? I did not apply because one, I did not think that we were focused on the Asian market, and I did not think that they would actually have a lot of knowledge to actually share over here as well. Second is that I just did not think that we were good enough. Right? But we had a metrics, early this year as well. So I finally thought, oh wow, actually this is a good reminder. I should just apply. So fundamentally, it boiled down to product traction that got us in. That's one. Second was the team as well, right? Our team got us in. And the idea here is that we will have been studying and had a very unique approach on our B2B solution, right? We saw the potential, and we have a lot of good traction since the start of the year. And so team and traction really were there. That being said as well, the preparation to fill up the application initially, and then after we were selected, the preparation to help us with the interviews were very, very important. You can't get into YC if you do not know somebody who is part of YC already. So when I applied to YC, I started, my investors, one of my investors was applied to YC, right? And so he shared with me the entire process, right? My good friend, two of my other good friends as well were part of YC, and they shared with me the entire process. They shared with me the application documentation and so on and so forth. So if you know people who are already YC, ask around, you'll be surprised, right? YC people are actually quite helpful. If they think that your company is good, you have a strong team, they will help you, give you feedback as well. Some of the feedback was not easy to hear, but you want to hear the honest feedback. You don't want your best friend to tell you, Bjorn, you are a great person, there's nothing you should change about you as well. Continue doing what you are as well. You are dying in the next 5 minutes, I know, but you're still great. That's not a good friend, right? You want your friend to tell you that, Bjorn, you suck, right? I don't understand why you're so stubborn, and I think you could do this to actually change things as well. You need the real frank talk as well. And I got that when I actually was filing my application. They were like, oh wow, this application is not good. You need to change this, and this. Check it out. This is what I think. This is what I wrote last time as well. Friends of friends, they helped me. Same thing for the preparation for the interviews as well. Those friends introduced me to more friends. I started by talking to 3 people, and eventually for my interviews, I started talking to 5 people. 5 new people as well. They encourage me that you prep your interview, because your interview is super short. You know what to say. You one person talk, not all 4 of you join a party. This is not a party chat. This is not a Zoom party chat, right? So that's what we did as well. So the prep was actually very important to get into the YC part. Yeah.
Nice. I like what you mentioned about the double T, traction and team, right? Sufficient traction, not a kind of I guess like a pre-POC is also kind of hard to get into Y Combinator, right? So
some people, if some people get in without a product, there are some people getting without a product as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, but that should be kind of less common, I believe, right? Compared to a kind of a concept that's kind of proven already, sub-proven, maybe not fully proven, right? And also a strong team that kind of holds together, right? To kind of bring the idea through, right? And really bringing the idea through as a team, and really building a team, is not easy, right? Have you ever thought of giving up? And what keeps you going?
So every 6 months I thought about giving up in the first few years. I was like, 6 months over, right? Why am I doing this, right? I always go back to why am I doing this, and it always brings me back as well, right? The thing that has brought me this far is that I believe in the social impact of my business. I believe that I was helping people, and I want to devote my life to doing that as well. I could take up a job at maybe an e-commerce startup, maybe a cryptocurrency, blockchain company, and so on and so forth, but that's not where my interests lie in. I don't feel a personal affinity to the problems that are being solved in those companies. I wanted to solve something that I personally felt was neglected, and there's something close to my area of interest, in this case, mental health as well. I believe that a lot of people can benefit from it. So, um, around the 2 year mark, right, this is late 2018, right, or 2019, sorry, late 2019 as well. That's about 3 year mark already. I really, really wanted to give up already. I already started researching into what it took to actually close the entire company up, right? I really, I was down to a team size of 2 people, me and an engineer. That's it. I did everything else. I lowered my burn to so low that it was just his pay, basically, right? And when you are about to die, you make very, very bold moves, right? So I reached the dying cockroach phase. I was flipped over, all 6 legs up in the air, one wing clipped, maybe, right? And then thinking, okay, do I still want to do this at all, right? What kept me going was that I still had a government grant that I needed to deliver, right? It was a government grant where I deliver value to cancer survivors and their caregivers as well. And I went for that event, despite my heart and mind no longer in the business. The program went very well. 30 people of them, right? They're thanking me for the app that I built, thanking me for the program, thanking me as well, and so on. And I was reminded of the human lives I touched as well, right? And also in that same week as well, around that time, I received 2 very passionate long emails from my users talking about how the app actually helped them out and was very different from some other apps as well. And it gave me a revelation, like sometimes you are so deep in your own problems that you fail to see the promise that other people see in you. All you see are problems, and then like other people, you don't you need the outsider perspective, right? There's this Chinese proverb for those of you who speak Chinese. It's like it's called 旁观者清, right? An observer has the clearest point of view of you when it's translated. And so I think that's what it was. It took me to that cancer survivor event and 2 users writing into me as well to make me realize that I actually have a very, very unique product. And this was helpful for, these 35, 40, 50 users. I had 5-digit users at that point of time as well, right? And I decided that, you know what, I think I should double down, plow on, and raise more money. My problem was not that I did not have access to funding. It's that I did not believe in my idea that much anymore, and I did not feel that I was bringing social impact to others. And so I actually turned down VC funding as well. So because I did not feel that I did not want to run another Me Too company and spend years like building something that was just going to make me rich, right? Or just going to make my team rich as well, right? I have enough money in my life, to live a decent, comfortable life, and I wanted to have more, right? I think you can call me greedy, not for money, but for social impact. And so that really was what kept me going in my darkest moments. I also took a break, of course, where I really thought about all these things and processed it. So I spent 10 days in Phuket, right, where I did not think about work. I just did a lot of reading, a lot of exercising, a lot of meditating, good, clean Thai food, like steamed fish, like sunrise every morning, right? Just, good, clean living, right? I never exercised so much and so regularly, right? And both my mind and my body as well. So I think that really gave me the sense of that. I mean, I did not talk much to people as well, except when I go out and talk to the hawkers as well. It was almost like a silent retreat, right? It was my version of a cave, right? I went to an Airbnb, I booked in, I was there alone, and that's it. That's all I did every day. I read, I exercised, I read, I ran, I meditated. That's it. I just did my thinking, and I came back. I was like, let's do this. I think let me build a new team. Everything came after that. Let me build a new team. Let me find my new three clients for businesses. I was invigorated.
That 10 days silent retreat is definitely a much needed, right? Trip. And I think let's talk about passion, right? I think product managers, you were a PM before, right? And as
I'm still
founders,
a PM in some way.
yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
founders, there's a lot of passions, and too much passion tend to have burnout, right? So there are a lot of listeners out there. They are also have a lot of passion in what they do, a lot of hustlers. How to balance that passion?
You are very right. When you have a lot of passion, you can tend to burn out, right? When you have so much passion, you lose the line between your sense of in your identity. Your sense of self and the sense of a company is intertwined. My company reflected everything that was going on, whether it's good or bad in my life, and I think that was quite bad as well, right? And I realized this maybe about a year ago, right? That when MindFi was doing well, when my numbers and metrics were going up, I felt great. I felt my life was going great, right? When it was going down, I don't think that there's anything salvageable, in my life as well. Like despite me having a good relationship, good friends, family life and so on, I just crowded out so much because I spent so much time in my startup as well, right? Um, I think it's actually quite important and healthy long term as well that we don't burn out, that we actually carve time out for our family, our friends, and the pursuit of a different hobby as well, whether it's woodworking, whether it's farming, and so on. My hobby sits right beside me actually, right?
Where's your hobby? Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Yeah, yeah. I should turn on the lamp because like it's actually quite ugly, and I've obviously neglected it a bit, but I have an aquarium, and
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to breed guppies and shrimp
Oh,
as well, right?
nice.
And it's a very eclectic hobby, but I think
Okay,
my friends know that. Uh,
let's take a quick
so
look.
it's here. Yeah,
Oh,
it's actually
nice,
quite
nice,
ugly right
nice.
now.
Oh well,
All right,
it's good. It's good. It's good.
it's good to have some life beside it. Hopefully, there's no dead fish or shrimps inside. I'm trying to get it to breed as well, usually. So these are all quite young.
They all look
Uh,
alive, dude. They all look alive.
yeah, they look alive. Right, this is the bigger, neglected version that I have. Right, and there's a giant version behind that you cannot see as well. There's a 2 meter tank behind that I actually have been neglecting. I need to actually build it up as well. But when I actually use my hands, because you and me, we work in the tech sector, right? We sit down in front of a laptop, we play with bits and bytes all the time. I want to play with atoms, right? So so using my hands, arranging, rethinking the entire design of a fish tank, creating something, building a something, using our hands, creating something. That's why you're product makers, right? Right. It's something that I really enjoy as well. Yeah. So it allowed me to delve into other aspects, like for example, the biology, of fish and shrimps, right? I have no time to feed them. What can I do and use to automate the feeding and the changing of the water tank and all that as well. I fundamentally boil down to very similar disciplines that as well. Which goes back to like sometimes we as human beings, right? Not product makers or entrepreneurs and so on. We got to have multidisciplinary domains of knowledge. Being a polyglot, one of the people that inspire me in life and also business is one of the co-owners of Berkshire Hathaway, the lesser known one, not Warren Buffett, but Charlie Munger, right? Because he's very wise and he has a lot of mental models that are curated from multiple disciplines as well, right? So it's important that we don't become too narrow and myopic in terms of our knowledge domains, but learn outside of our our usual topics, because that usually gives us new ideas and perspectives that we can bring back to our day-to-day job.
Right. Thanks. That's super insightful, and also great to see your guppies and your tank. One day I should see the 2 meter one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're coming to the to the end of the podcast. So what's next for MindFi? Would you like to share with the audience? What's next? First in the next 6 months or so.
It's 3 tiers, right? My next 6 months, number one, grow revenue, maintain a healthy revenue for us to hit our Series A, right? Second, make sure the product works in terms of improving mental health, reducing stress levels of our users. And third, making sure I don't burn my team out, right? Living and dog fooding our what we believe in our own product as well. I think that's not an easy thing to do, right? Because I do have like data and real stories from other mental health startups, like in the US as well, that has really burnt out their early stuff, right? And at some point, hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't do that as well. But in every fast-growing industry, it's inevitable. I got to watch myself. I got to watch that, I don't burn out all my stuff as well. But the demand is from the market is really high, right? And so while we work on a very, very purposeful job as well, I just want to make sure that I build a company that's sustainable, that lasts for as long as it can. And this is also kind of like a hiring ad as well. If you are in product, business, marketing, sales, or success, we are hiring, right? If you want to work on a company where the founders truly believe in social impact above profits, talk to me, talk to us.
Nice, nice. I love that. I love that. I love what you're doing on the positive impact. And I believe in externally having social impact and also internally, right, with the employees, right? And I believe in a startup, it has to be, people have to be driven. Put another word to it, self-driven, right? To really move the startup in a very agile fashion. We kind of to the end of the podcast. For those who want to reach out to you, especially for interested in product business, customer success and all that, how can they reach out to you?
Go to my website. You can just contact me and say I want to talk to Bjorn. That's the easiest part. Otherwise, add me on LinkedIn, Bjorn Lee at MindFi. Drop me a message. That's the easiest way.
Awesome, cool. All right, so thank you for your time, Bjorn, and I think it's great to hear your insights and your story as well to really build MindFi to have positive impact and have a growth for mental well-being. Thank you, Bjorn.
Thank you, Eric, for having me on a podcast, and may you thrive with this new project as well.
All right, thank you.